Definitely not Julia.
Definitely not who?
Julia?
Okay. Why not Julia?
I don't know. She tries to make these fun faces, but they're sometimes scary.
It doesn't work. Okay. All right.
I feel like no one tries to take the spot from Ava. Like, I feel like the rest of us are a little scared, and
Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like Ava's the go-to. Ava's the reliable one. I feel like Fia's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finley moved on. Okay. When did that start, Ava?
I don't really know. I don't know, it just kind of happened.
She just decided that you're awesome and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me.
Have you tried, Sophia?
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know why she, like, I don't know. I'm just not good with kids. Let's just put it that way. I try really hard, but I never succeed.
I like how you said you're not good with kids, and then Finley started crying right after you said that.
Yeah, it's a sign. It's a sign.
Yeah.
So have you tried with other kids out there to hold them, and it just didn't work out either?
I mean, I feel like this weekend I was just babysitting, and for the first hour she's just sobbing. So
Okay.
I don't know. I try really hard.
You
but
just let them cry. They tire themselves out. That's what Alan does.
It's not.
She tires herself out.
I mean, it doesn't hurt Ava that you actually babysat Finley before.
That's true. I did
Yeah.
babysit her.
Okay. But you said you babysat recently,
Yeah.
and it didn't work out?
It just stresses me out when they cry because, like, I
How
don't know,
old are they?
Like, almost 2 and like 4. So like,
Okay.
the 4-year-old helps me out a lot, which is good. But
Yeah.
okay.
Do you give
He's
the
a really good big brother.
do you give the 4-year-old a percentage of the money that you make for the help?
No,
or?
but I should.
All right.
Realistically.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So Ava, you said the trick is just to let them cry.
Yeah, they usually tire themselves out, so
Where did you learn that from?
my mother.
You're from your mom. Okay. All right. Shout out to mom on that because that sounded like really good motherly advice. So I want to stick with that for a second. Sophia, besides coach, because a coach can oversee a team as a mother figure, who on your team is the mom?
You are. You're the mom.
I don't.
You say she has the
I do
weather?
like the weather.
You were
more.
looking at the freaking like cloud of dust and like smoke.
No, I feel like everyone plays the certain role when they need to. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like last year, Rachel Ferris on our team, like she had everything in that bag, like a hammer once, like you name it, she had everything. But I feel like it's not a particular person in general. I feel like everyone steps in the role when someone needs help, someone steps in the role.
I appreciate that answer, but I want to do this based on what I heard in the crowd. Clap your hands if you think Sophia Ianno is the mother. They said you always have the weather?
I'm always looking. I don't know why. It's just because I hate being cold at practice. Like that's my biggest pet peeve. Or I hate like when it rains, just like playing like in soaking wet clothes. So I'm always checking it.
What is cold to you? Because we're in central New York. So what do you identify as a cold temperature?
I don't know. I feel like even at 40-degree practices, I'll still have like 2 layers of pants on and like everything.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. 40 makes. I didn't know if you're like saying you're cold when it's like 65.
No.
No. Yes, you are.
I don't know. It depends. Like the wind and everything. I don't know. Every day's different. So.
Okay, all right. Ava, if Sophia is the mother of the team, who's the wild child? It's like, okay, why?
I don't know. I think it's just her personality, which is like a great personality, and it like, brings a lot of fun to the team. But why are you laughing like that? But I think it has to be her.
How often do you know if a joke is funny or if she's just laughing?
You don't really know.
Okay,
She's
you don't
sometimes
really
just
know.
laughing.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So this season, you heard some of your teammates talk about learning from the losses, the 4 that you've had en route to where you are right now. Ava, where do you feel like there was a turning point, be it a win or a loss? Is there a moment that you can take out to say, hey, I feel like the team at this moment really something sunk in, or we got closer, or we stopped doing a bad habit that we had had for a few games? Can you point out a time?
I definitely think it was like our first loss. I think that like really changed a lot of people's like perspectives on the season because like we were state champs last year, but it's not the same team we had. So I think just that first loss really early in the season just kind of turned it on for everyone.
Sophia, when you have that first loss, how did you react to it, and what were your thoughts kind of coming right off of that?
I mean, obviously, it's really hard. Like, you just come off such a high season, and you've really proved yourself, and then to have a loss, obviously it stinks, but, like, we knew you always have to lose at some point, in my opinion. Like, you can't – it's really hard to go a full season undefeated and then expected to be, a winning state championship team. I think it was very important for us because, like Ava said, like, we were able to learn, and you have to soak it. Like, you know what I mean? You have to soak it in. You have to soak the feeling. But when the next game time comes, like, you have to take that off your mind, and you just got to focus on yourself.
You said you feel like there has to be, a loss at some point. There's a lot of teams that believe that at some point during the season, before you get into the postseason, you have to know what it feels like to maybe humble yourselves and to maybe show you that you're not untouchable. Mm-hmm. Did you feel like you got that from that? When you did soak it in, did you feel like it was like, okay, you know what, this humbled us, it taught us something, we get it now?
I feel like each and every loss that we had this season was like that important. Like, yeah, the first time, like, that one stings the most because obviously it was the first time all season, but like each game I feel like we learned something very important, and I feel like in our last game against South Jeff, losing that one in overtime, I feel like that's when we were like, okay, like, because it was the last regular season game, the next day started the postseason, and like that's when we turned the page, and I think this team has grown so much from that loss.
Ava, when you look back to that game against South Jefferson and an OT loss right at the end of the regular season, how was the next day?
I mean, most of us kind of just right after the loss put it in the back of our minds. Like, we definitely still thought about it, but we all knew that it was like a new season coming and that we needed to like kick it into gear and like just become a better version of ourselves after that.
We heard from Sophia Muscolino that you guys could just let it go.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that happened? That you just felt it in the moment?
Like, really in the moment and then put it past me.
Being the goalie on this team, do you have a goalie that came before you for BVille Girls Lacrosse that you look up to?
Definitely is Sammy Tangway.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's like my best friend, best goalie to have like at practice, like on the sideline if I'm in. She just was a great support for everyone and especially me.
Yeah, and I think, and it's when you do this over the years, from my perspective, you get to meet really special people, and I'm happy that you mentioned Sammy because she could light up the room and kind of command the room at times, right? And you could tell she was hard on herself, but at the same time she loves everybody else.
Yeah.
So what was like the best thing that she taught you?
I mean, it's always just, she'd always be like, you got this, but add a swear word in between. But
Okay.
she would always say that, and she'd always just believe in me, and like that would help me believe in myself and believe in the team that we had.
Sophia, what about you? Do you have somebody that comes from the recent past of BVille Girls Lacrosse?
Yeah, I've always looked up to Sid Smith. She's going to be a senior at UAlbany, and she plays lacrosse there. I've just always looked up to her because not only is she a good lacrosse player, but she's a good person, and she has like a lot of good leadership, and I've just always looked up to who she is and how she plays.
I think it would be wrong of us to not clap it up for all of the former BVille Girls Lacrosse players. Yeah. Because I was talking about it on the show this morning. If you forget who came before you and you don't kind of pay some respect to that, it's almost like you don't really know exactly where you are, right? Because there's a trail and a timeline of people that helped to pave the way. So I think it's great that I asked you that question and you really didn't have to think about it, which is pretty awesome. Do you feel right now, Sophia, I'll start with you, is there someone specifically that you feel like a mentor to that you've made an impression on this team currently? Is there somebody that you feel like has told you that, like, hey, thanks for looking out, thanks for being there, I never forgot you said this?
I mean, I feel like I spend the most time with Addie and Peyton because I bring them home from practice every day. But, I mean, they're like my best friends. Like, there's nothing I would rather do than bring them home from practice every day. Like, we've just grown so close. And as much as I hope I'm a support system for them, they're a very much support system for me. So I appreciate everything they've done for me.
What's the car ride like home?
Well, I don't play music in the car, so if we're not talking, it's silent, but we're talking like 99% of the time, but it's always, someone's always giggling, Peyton's always cracking a joke or something.
Why
It's
do
fun.
you not play music?
In my opinion, it's just like, because then it's like you have to plug in your phone, then you have to open, like, I just like to get in the car and go.
It's a lot of work. You got to plug it in.
If they want to listen to music, they can plug their phone in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care to. I don't know. Sometimes I like the silence.
Well, I will say
Relaxing.
it is. I mean, because it's a world that doesn't have a lot of peace time. But so mine in my car, plug my phone in, right? And they when I went to Verizon, they're like, oh, this is an iPhone official, whatever car charger thing. So I plug it in, and it worked for a year. Now when I plug it in, if I tap it just a little bit, or if it turns, it shuts off CarPlay.
Yeah.
And so I have to constantly do. So you'll see me driving in the car, like it's on my shoulder. I got to have it somewhere where I'm not looking at it, but I got to keep the wire perfect. So I think I would probably like maybe more the peace of not having to fight with it. So, and it also kind of forces you guys to talk. You get to know each other.
Exactly. That's what
So,
I like to look at.
Yeah, talking in 2023
Yeah,
is a good thing. Talking's a very good thing. Ava, how would you describe your car ride home? Are you playing music?
I definitely am. I can't really sit in silence. I need at least some, like, it could be like background music. Like, it just needs to be in the background.
What are you playing? What's in the, like, if we went in the car right now, what's playing?
It's probably some country right now.
Okay. Who? Do you have a favorite?
Probably Chris Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton. Have you seen him in concert?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen any country acts in concert?
No, not really.
Have you been to a concert?
I have.
Okay, what concert?
I did go to Morgan Wallen.
You went to Morgan Wallen?
Yeah. I
Okay.
forgot about that.
Morgan Wallen, we're sorry, but apparently it was a forgettable experience. So,
I was working.
poor Morgan Wallen. Okay, but so what's the memorable concert experience?
Probably Imagine Dragons. That was like one of the that was like one of the first concerts I went to.
Yeah.
And it was just like a big group of us, and like it was just so much fun.
Well, the thing is, I've always wanted to see them because I feel like they would be incredible live. So obviously they were good.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
All right, fair enough. Before we get into rapid fire, Sophia, tell me something good about Ava.
Ava's very strong, both like on and off the field. Like, I'm just very proud of everything she's done this year and holding us in goal in the net too. I'm just very proud of her. She's very strong and resilient.
I think you guys are working really hard to try and get me to cry live on air. So, no, but honest, because you could feel that. You mean what you're saying.
Yeah.
I could tell 19 plus years of broadcasting, I could tell when somebody means what they say. Ava, those are some big words. What do you got to say about Sophia?
Well, of course, she's like my number one defender, and I would really never want anyone else in front of me. Like, I'm definitely gonna miss her going to college, but she's like strong. She's really resilient, and like she just knows where she's. She kind of knows where she wants to go, and I'm proud that like she's come so far and has like a great life ahead of her.
I know I've asked y'all to clap for something, but you got to clap for these two. That was awesome. That was good. You got to clap for that. That's genuine love. So.
That's the defender goalie connection.
Yeah. Because without you, her job is very hard, and without her, well, then you guys are.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah.
So that bond and that connection. How quickly did your connection start with Ava, where you really felt like, hey, I trust her, and that's it? Like, when can you go back to the moment where you're like, you know what, that's my goalie, and that's it?
I mean, we've played together. Like this whole group of girls, like we've played together since we were so young, and
Yeah.
I've always played defense, and she's always played goalie. So I feel like we've just always been connected for so long. I feel like what I can really remember is like back in like 6th grade when we played club together. Like I just felt like that's where like our ties grew the strongest, and from here on out, it's been nothing but love and the best.
Ava, why does this team care more about the whole than just the individual?
Well, I mean, yeah, you want to like get individual goals, but coming together and just getting like that team win or like losing as a team and like being a support system for each other is, I think, just kind of what makes us a really strong group and just really keeps us together.
This is a very important question, Ava. Have you ever heard, I love how you just said, oh my gosh. Have you ever heard your team this silent?
No, I don't think I have.
Sophia?
No. I was trying to think, like, maybe the bus ride home from when we went to Niagara Falls because everyone was tired, but I still feel like
We were
there
still
was
talking.
little laughs here
Yeah.
and there. So I feel
They're
like
listening to you. That's got to make you feel good. When they're quiet like this, it means that they're actually hearing what you have
Yeah.
to say.
No. Yeah.
Who's the loudest? I want to know what you guys think.
Addie, hands
Okay.
out. Grace,
Yeah, Addie
Grace is
or
loud
Grace?
too. It just depends on like the given moment and
Yeah.
what's being said.
It's also you.
I don't compare to Addie or Grace though. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Before we get into rapid fire, the car question has been something I've been using a lot. Different things that have to do with car rides. So, Sophia, you are driving. I'm not going to touch music because I know it's going to be silent. But you're in the car. You have to choose someone to be in the car with you who's going to change the tire when you blow a tire. You have to pick someone who is going to call your parents and tell a little white lie when you're not where you're supposed to be on time. And you need to pick somebody who's going to remember all of the luggage and have everything together, so the responsible one.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I would have Sierra call my parents. Just because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Sierra would just be like, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I feel like Sierra would do that. I don't know.
Who's going to change the tire?
I feel like you've taken an auto mechanics class, so I'll choose you for fixing the
Okay.
tire.
All right.
I'll choose you on that one.
And then who's the responsible one that's going to pack the luggage and not forget anything?
I would say Emily. I feel like I feel like Emily, maybe Audra. I feel like they're like very. Oh wait, Kelsey. Yeah, Kelsey. She's very put together.
Okay. All right, Ava. We're in the car, but there's a different situation now. Okay? So I need you to tell me who you trust to drive the car while you're sleeping. I need you. So who do you trust to drive the car while you're sleeping? Who do you trust to talk yourselves back into the country when you lose your passport in Mexico? And the third one is, who do you trust to make sure that you guys are properly fed? So who is the chef? Who's the one that talks you over the border? And who's the one that you trust while you're sleeping?
All right. When I'm sleeping, probably. I don't know. Actually, I trust Bree. I trust Bree.
Wow.
I think she's
Okay.
a pretty good driver.
That's a good take.
Okay.
Good take.
You trust Bree?
Yeah.
I got to do this while we're doing this here. Can you guys give me a round of applause? Because it's awesome to see the crowd like this. It's awesome to see everybody preaching in like that. That's just great. The community needs to know how much love there is here for BVille, and I appreciate it every time we're out here. So you gave me the person that you trust while you're sleeping. Who's going to talk you over the border from Mexico, and who's going to be the chef?
Over the border,
Yeah.
probably Izzy. I just feel like she could do that. And she speaks Spanish. I feel like that's
Okay.
just like,
That's helpful.
Who's
Who's the chef?
I Cassidy. I feel like Cassidy would be a good chef.
Okay. Has she made any responsible? Okay, all right, fair enough. So we're gonna jump into rapid fire. Ava, I'm gonna start with you. You can ask me anything.
What is your favorite shape of pasta?
My favorite shape of pasta.
Yeah.
Okay. 19 years, never been asked this question. So I would say, man, this is tough. So I obviously people know I'm Italian and Hispanic, so I can't get this wrong for part of my heritage. I love angel hair, but it's not a cool shape. So I would say, and I might be saying it wrong, but radiatore pasta. It's like this weird, like it looks like the horns of like a ram, but then it's curved another way. And I just really like that it's so unique, and I have it in my house right now. So I would probably say that one. All right, Ava. Interesting question. If you could describe yourself in 3 dipping sauces, what dipping sauces describe your personality, Ava?
Okay, ketchup, chipotle sauce,
Okay.
and
Why?
I don't eat that many sauces.
Okay, so let's say ketchup and chipotle. Why do they describe you?
I mean, I eat them most of the time. I feel like I feel like I'm just made of it now.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Sophia, what are your questions for me? Or what's your first one?
For you?
Yes.
What's your favorite form of cheese? So like string cheese, wheel cheese, sliced cheese, like.
Coach, what are you doing in practice?
We were thinking of really creative questions.
What is? I mean, I've never been asked what's my favorite style of cheese.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I like a block of Asiago because when you can like shred it, it tastes incredible. So I would pick that for the taste of it. But I'd probably say string cheese because I just think it's really cool that you could pull it apart and it makes you feel like a kid when you're doing it. And they tell you not to play with your food when you're growing up, but when you're an adult, you can play with string cheese. So I would say string cheese. Interesting question. All right, Sophia. Wow, lots of food stuff going on here today. All right, Sophia. If they made a cereal about you, what's in it and what do we call the cereal?
Ooh. My gosh, I don't even know. I have no idea. Like, I'm trying to think of stuff you can put in cereal, but like I feel like none of it.
You can put flakes, Cheerios. Like
I'll
if
do
you were a
like
mix.
Cheerios and like almonds.
Okay. And what would we call this? What's the name of the cereal?
Cheerios squared. Cheerios X almond. I don't know.
Cheerios X almond.
I have no idea.
I honestly wish that on this live feed we had like a small picture here that every time we're talking up here we just have like Coach's feed right there and we just get to see her face because seeing it off camera is fantastic. Cheerios X almonds.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Ava. What's your last one?
If you were any like cleaning supply, what would you be and why? Or like what would you be made of?
If I was a cleaning supply, what would I be made of?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'll pick the smell. I love spearmint, so I guess I would be. Ava, you have to create a logo that describes your personality. What does the logo look like? Somebody just say a duck?
Probably a
A
duck.
dog. A duck?
Probably.
Why a duck?
I mean, I drive a Jeep and I have a bunch of ducks. I feel like that's just.
Okay. So
Just
it would
me.
be a duck. Anything
Yeah.
on the duck? Sunglasses? You make it
It'd
interesting.
probably be like I have like this pink duck with like a helmet and like a little spinny thing, and
Okay.
then like sunglasses and a chain.
And a chain.
I feel like that'd be my
Okay,
logo.
so, a little gangster duck, little
Yeah.
rap duck,
Yeah.
little hip hop duck.
Yeah.
Okay. Sophia, what's your last one for me?
you could be born in any other time period, so like Renaissance, you know what I'm saying? Like, what time period would you be from, and why?
If I could be born in any time period, when would I be born? I guess I would say not during World War stuff. So it would be after World War II, but like before now. So, because I would want to spend more time with my grandfathers.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say like 1946 after they got home from the war. Because I would just want to spend a lot more time with my grandfathers. So I'd say that. All right. And I also feel like, I don't know, people were like nicer and chivalry and people did more things for each other. I feel like I'm a man that was born at the wrong time because I feel like people don't like gentlemen anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like people just like rude people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think being a gentleman in today's society, they're like, well, what's the catch? Like, what are you hiding? It's like, no, I'm just a gentleman. That's how I was raised.
Yeah.
So I think in the 40s, gentlemen were still appreciated, I guess. All right, Sophia. If you could go into space, what planet would you travel to? And if you found life on that planet, who would you trust to protect you of your teammates? So I want to know what planet you're going to and what 3 people you're taking on this NASA expedition.
I'd probably go to Jupiter. It's got a cool color. I don't know much about my planets.
Okay.
I'm definitely taking Mia. I'll take Ava because she wants me to take her.
Okay.
I feel like. I'll take Addie. I'll take Addie. I was gonna say either Addie or Bree because Bree and Mia, it's a scary duo.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So with that being said, so for Sophia, Ianno, Ava Graham, myself, Dan Tortora, this has been this edition of Wake Up Call, on site, on location, at Pizza Man Pub, 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York, with your Baldwinsville Bees Girls Lacrosse team, 2023 Section 3 Class A champions again. And working toward a state title. Y'all stay humble. I'm going to say this. Massapequa, watch out.